as you may very well know, last Wednesday I had my first ever live webcast, and let me just say, it was sweet. Now, during the webcast, we talked about all sorts of different things and just generally had a freaking awesome good time. But perhaps my favorite thing that we talked about was the question of, if you could have any one superpower, what would it be? And why? Now, when considering this question, you have to understand that there are some rules. I mean, every superpower has to have some sort of a weakness, and you can't just be like, I'd want the power to be able to do everything, because, I mean, that's just some major bull. By the way, Superman? Totally cheap, totally lame. You can't just be like, you need kryptonite or else you can't kill me. That sucks. So anyway, it took me a while. I had to put a lot of thought into this, but ultimately, what I decided on was telekinesis. Now, depending on where you go, who you ask, you'll get slightly varying definitions of what telekinesis is, but basically, what it is it's the ability to move or manipulate stuff with your mind. For example, I could make my phone float over to me. But aside from being able to get things to float to you, there are some other applications for telekinesis that people rarely consider. First of all, you could make yourself hover and float around, which would be pretty sweet. I mean, you wouldn't be able to go quite as fast as if you had just the straight up power of flight, and I mean, you wouldn't have quite as much control over it, but whatever. But perhaps the most overlooked application of the power of telekinesis is the ability to manipulate locks. I mean, think about it. If you could manipulate locks, you could get into a lot of sweet places where you could do a lot of sweet things. Good or evil. Now, of course, telekinesis is not perfect. You wouldn't be able to move huge things like a cargo ship or a skyscraper, and while it has really, really good superhero offensive ability, like you can pick stuff up and throw it at your enemies, defensive, it would be mediocre at best. But still, hands down, telekinesis is super duper rad. So now that I have told you my superpower of choice, it is time for you to tell me, along with the rest of the world, what is your superpower of choice? If you could have any one superpower, what would it be and why? And none of this, I would be invincible BS. I mean, every good superpower has its weakness. No superhero can be perfect. Let's please try to be a little bit reasonable as we talk about this completely unreasonable topic. So yeah, post a comment below or a video response and subscribe to me, because I'm awesome. I am Dan Brown, and I am out.